What's up, guys? I'm back at it again, and we're gonna make this a longer stream. I don't know how long, definitely longer than 10 minutes, probably 30. Maybe I'll shoot for an hour. We'll see. But, we're gonna watch a couple videos, and that is that. But before we get to the videos and before I watch any of that shit, um, I just want to talk about this idea, and it has to do with this idea of what I titled this stream, and it has to do with this idea of making it. And I know that every time that I get here, I'm always talking about that. I'm always saying that. I'm always like, trying to manifest it by streaming it and saying it. Like that this is an action. If I were to just say it in the vacuum of nothingness, it wouldn't mean shit. But by me saying it here, it means something because it becomes something. And because every time that I do this and that I do this more and more, and that I do this, it becomes an action, which is weird because obviously when you talk, when you're, I guess, when your goal is to talk for a living, at least for the first portion of it, is it's kind of difficult to kind of compute that idea. I kind of compare it to like music, specifically rapping. When rappers, like a lot of the times, people say like, oh, this particular rapper is like a genius, and it's like oh, it's genius and this and this and that, and they usually mention for the technicality of like, oh, you can rhyme and you can do this, and that is a skill, and of course it is the case. But a lot of the times they don't, a lot of people don't, at least people from an artistic mindset don't consider that to be a true talent, because the truest talent is something like, oh, you can sing well, you can sing, like, because these are innate things. Like these other kinds of things are, they're skills to build on. Now certain people have it and certain people don't, but these are generally skills to build on. I would, arts that I consider to be the case of that would probably be writing a story, acting, rapping, the certain things, filmmaking. I would consider these things like you're developing a skill. Now of course certain people just have it, but it's still a matter of skill building. There's certain innate things that people just won't have and certain people will, like singing. Singing is just something like no one's gonna sing like Michael Jackson or The Weeknd. It's like these people have a very unique voice, and you can never have that voice no matter how much you try, unless AI comes in and swoops in that whole you know thing. But to get back to the point of what I was saying is just that I, every time that I come in here, I say it. And streaming, as of these late couple of years, has become this like new wave of this thing. And I think a lot of people, I think that the out of everyone that I've seen this far do this streaming shit, like the one person that makes like the most out of it is Kai Cenat. Like he's a clear inspiration to me in the sense of like how he's making it a craft. He's making it something very special, and a lot of people don't recognize that because they're just looking at it for the pure entertainment aspects. But as someone who wants to do this, I see the art behind it and I see the clear opportunity. And I'm so thankful for that because the thing is that my goals are massive. They're huge. And you have to understand that I come from a place where I have no connections. I have nothing. I mean, of course, I live well and it's fine, but that's because of my parents, and that's because, like right here, I'm under these conditions. But at the end of the day, I have no connections. I have no connections to this. I have no nepotism. I'm not even remotely there. I'm not even closely there. All I have is this. I didn't go to a school that was like higher up, and I got accepted to the school. Now I can go to a school right here that's a University of Houston, but I'd rather not because I'd rather just focus on this, and eventually I'll get there. But the reality is that whatever they have to offer me, it's already on the internet. Like I don't really need, on a technical basis, I don't really need that. I already understood that. So I'm on the grind and I'm focused and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing when it comes to this. I've decided completely. And I'm not returning to that school. And the only reason I will be returning to that school, I'm only returning right after I succeed with this. The minute that I succeed with this, I'm using the school as like an area, an adventure in which people can kind of experience this thing with me. And of course, I'm gonna have an altered experience. I'm not gonna have an experience like other people. And the reason I got this idea was because of Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian in this story said, I think I saw it somewhere. I don't know exactly. I saw it on like in the TikTok or something. He was like on a podcast, and he said he said that he went to the Navy, I think, and he came back with the to university with more clout, more success, more anything because of everything that he went through right there. So his experience that he went through right there, it wasn't as a loser with nothing, just kind of going in there. No, he went there with, as you could call it today, clout, fame, not necessarily fame, but just stature in some kind of level, in many kinds of levels, physically, mentally, financially, in all those areas and in all those endeavors. So when he went back to a university, he had a completely altered experience, and that's exactly the kind of experience that I plan to have. I'm not gonna go in there wasting my money, going in there doing fuck all, knowing that I'm not there for the education. I'm only there for bitches. I'm only there for having fun, and that is it. That's really all I'm there for. And so with that being said, I don't I know what I'm there for. So why not just do it through this? Why not just use that as an experience to do that? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I kind of went off track as I always do, but not really. It kind of circles back around. But the point is this whole idea of I will make it. I've been watching a lot of streamers, people like Sneeko, people like Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, IShowSpeed, SQC, all these people, and I plan to become them. I plan to become them, and I plan to become better. Not necessarily in the sense of viewership. I think I will just be equal to them. I'm not really trying to surpass that. I'm trying to be equal to that. That's in terms of viewership. I think my biggest goal is to be someone like IShowSpeed. I think it's sort of a line. It's like a mixture of him, XQC, and Kai Cenat. But in terms of pure numbers, it's somewhere around where he's at. And I ultimately want to become, let's just say, a gothic version of all of that. A more still spastic and schizophrenic and fun and all of that, but gothic. Something like that. Like I feel like that's missing. The whole existentialist, cinematic, yet godly, yet gothic, and that sounds like a oxymoron or like a contrarian to what it is. How do you mix gothic to God? And I simply do that because that's just what I am. I'm a gothic man of God, I guess. And so with that being said, there's that element to it, that mostly overall this cinematic existentialist element to it. And although that cinematic existentialist element will come in the future in its appropriate manner, in the most grandiose way possible, I want my being to exude that, to completely just exude all of that. And so with that being said, this is the key. This is the key. Me simply being here and just by doing this, and every time that I get on, and I've been more consistent than I've ever had before, and I don't plan to stop. We're going to continue to go, and we're not going to stop, and we're not going to quit, no matter what. I will make it, and I'll be there with Kai, with Aiden Ross, with IShowSpeed, with Sneeko, with all of these people. With XQC, with all of these people. I will be there. I hate that I'm on the sidelines. I hate that I know I belong with these people. I know I belong with this kind of like the lexicon of this internet history. And I can't just be a vacuum of nothingness. I can't just be nothing. I have to be there. I have to be there. I have to be a part of the internet history. before I embark on an even greater journey. But through this, I get to access the greater journey. And I see all of the connection. And when people look back on this, it's just going to be an amazing, it's going to be amazing. And, a part of me really wishes that I would have captured myself earlier. But sometimes it just has to happen whenever it has to happen. And it's now. Right now is the time. And I'm very young still. Very, very young. Actually, well, yeah, I am young. And it's the time. The time is now. We're going to do it now. This is the time. This is the moment. And we're going to make it. And I'm not going to fall behind. And I'm like, because I know what I'm destined to be. I know what my greater purpose is. And it's farther beyond than what any of you are expecting. I'm not going to say specifically what it is. Generally from all the intels of what I've said before, let's just say it's something artistic. But I won't tell you what the source of it all is. The point is that I know my journey. And it's even bigger than that. But this is going to be one of the, like, when people look back on all of this, they're going to witness something amazing. And I can't wait for people to do it. And of course, I don't expect it to be like this, oh, people love me. Of course, I know that a lot of pain is going to come out of this. A lot of people are going to hate on you for you doing this. I'm going to be a provocative figure. I don't plan to be how am I, I can't do that. I have to be provocative. I will be provocative. I'm just strategic, so I know the degrees of how I want to lay it out, because at the end of the road, I plan to be the most provocative man of all time, even further than any man in history. So, with that being said, and I know that to a lot of people that sounds ridiculous, but that is the truth. That is the truth. And with that being said, I will make it, no matter what. I thank all the people that have inspired me throughout the way. The main people that I would say is the superhero Spider-Man and all the heroes, Batman, all the, when I was a childhood, all the way to the filmmaking history that I had in the past, developing all of that, and when people look back on my old films and all this shit. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, it culminates to one thing. Now, even what's happening since I've gotten out of high school, which is that the main inspiration to me has been Kanye. Kanye, his music, everything about his journey has just completely inspired me. Among other people, but mainly him. And so with that being said, I know I'm destined for greatness. I know, and I'm not gonna be here just being fucking nothing. We're gonna make it. And with that being said, we're almost there. As I always say every single day. And I can't help, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes when I watch these people, I'm like, oh god, bro, like, I gotta make it. Like that even though sometimes it can be a distraction, sometimes it's a good thing to watch these people, because it's like it only further implies that, it only further like motivates you to just keep going and to not quit and to not stop, and and just to do that and to never forget, to not fall into comfort and just be like, oh well, I'm just fine here. No, I'm fucking not. I'm not. We gotta get going. That's what tomorrow we're going out there, and I'm getting this fucking job, and we're doing all this so that we can get out. I can get out with my cousin, and so that we could do all of this shit. This has to become a reality. I cannot allow it. I cannot allow this fucking temporary comfort to just allow me to waste all this time. I need fucking 3 years to change all of this shit. 1 year, we get out the house, we become completely successful with this content creation shit. Then we further it down towards the ideal goal that we need to take it to with the content creation. And then after that, we can now fulfill, and then after that, all the finances, I took care of my family, I'd set everything up, and now it's completely all about the mission that I have, this great mission. I see it all. And so with that being said, it only takes that much amount of time, and I'm already starting, and I know it's going to change. So it's weird, because it's like I feel comforted by that because I know I'm gonna make it, but still, even within the momentary moment, I have to act like, oh, I only have a little bit of moment, because like in reality, that I don't think that that's the case. I think there's a vast amount of moment, but I can't operate that way. I have to operate like there's a scarce amount of time. I have to go in there and approach the train of opportunity and just do it. And that's the case. So, with that being said, we'll leave it at that. We're not done. Like the other times where I just cut the stream short, we're not going to do that. It's time to improve. It's time to fulfill everything. And, we've been consistent, but now it's time to add what needs to be added, which is I want you guys to watch videos with me, and we're going to play games. I'm not going to play a game right now, but we will play a game. I don't think, maybe possibly tomorrow, but if not, we will still watch videos. But the one thing that I really want to do, but we'll do that probably like Friday or something like that. Overall, let's do what we need to do. We're gonna watch a couple videos, and I'm gonna have to put on my glasses because I don't have my contacts right now. So that's the case. So. Sorry for being slow. There you go. Alright. And then let's move this shit. There you go. Okay. Let's go. We still have these fucking dumbass advertisements. I think I might switch this whole shit up because I have the other thing in the other account, but I just don't want to switch it up because I have a lot of content here that I watch, but I think I might have to switch it here because I have to, take advantage of that. But whatever. Okay. Let's get going. So we have these watch later videos. We're gonna watch a couple of them. I think right now we're gonna reach it towards 30 minutes because I don't want to take a lot of time. I know I said an hour, but at least I'm watching some videos with you guys. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna watch all of them. I'm gonna watch. Where are we at? We're at 18. The swatch in pursuit of meaning, desire to not exist. I'm gonna do aesthetic and then pursuit of meaning, and we'll watch this again, cause why not? But that's it. All right. I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna end it off with in pursuit of meaning. All right, guys. Cool. Let's do this.
Depression. Guess what? I'm going to therapy. Okay.
Fuck therapy. I hope that I don't sound weird, but oh, I love it. I love it. Wait. Birdman, Blade Runner. Yay, Run Away. Her.
I love aesthetic. I feel that every time I see it, it gives off a comfy, nostalgic feeling. Even if what I'm looking at didn't come out long ago and I have no nostalgia for it whatsoever. I just feel like whenever I see something aesthetic, I just start to long for something that ain't.
Wait. No. Fuck. Wait.
Thinking about my childhood.
Aesthetic. I see that aesthetic.
Long for something that ain't even happened yet. Like, why am I watching this anime and thinking about my childhood, even though this is my first time watching it? Or maybe I have watched it before. But looking at a bunch of aesthetic edits and photos that I come across of on Instagram just brings out my inner white girl. Which my inner white girl is that I've watched a little too much Mean Girls. Not the ones that are a disappointment to your family.
Bruh.
I don't know. I think aesthetic is kind of a girly thing to obsess over. And if that's the case, then I'm going to switch my pronouns from he, him to that bitch. Because I love aesthetics more than you know. Aesthetic comes in many ways because the definition of it is the appreciation of beauty. So it could be anything that's beautiful, like this, or this, or this. But I feel like when most of us think of aesthetic,
Yeah.
we think of like a lo-fi VHS kind of look or a neon cyberpunk look. But really anything good looking is an aesthetic, and in this I'm just gonna be talking about my favorite aesthetics I've seen across media. And
Suspiria. Yeah.
what other form of media would I start with other than
Yeah, every time it's used for slow reverb, it's used for like fucking slow reverb for all the fucking songs, every song pretty much, but a lot of the times it's for like subliminal, like existentialist music. I don't know.
if y'all didn't already know, I mess with anime. I think it's the best Chinese entertainment out there. But most anime be
It's not fucking China. I mean, I'm not funny. Yes, yeah,
looking like this bland garbage. Like nothing new, nothing that catches your eye. Like they just be copying and pasting their characters and art from every other boring ass anime out there that does the same thing. A lot of them just be a carbon copy of each other. But when one does look great, it makes me cream a little bit. I kind of like the aesthetic of anime in general. You know, when it's not looking like this. Honestly, even if it looks a little different than the average anime, I'm gonna leave a good impression of the art. But is having good art aesthetic? Well, technically, yeah, but I'm not thinking of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood when I think of aesthetic anime. Now, I'm thinking of Evangelion or Sailor Moon. I be seeing lo-fi edits of scenes from these shows all over. From Misato watching a little too much Dan Schneider to Sailor Moon doing girly stuff. I don't know, I never watched it. Both these anime just look great to look at. When I see them, it does bring back a nostalgic feeling for me. Especially Sailor Moon. Like, I never watched a single episode of this show in my life. Yet every time I see a frame of it, it feels like this show was part of my childhood. I just like the pretty colors. But if I had to pick an anime that has my favorite aesthetic over all of them, it would have to be Fooly Cooly. I think this anime looks absolutely amazing. I love the art of FLCO so much. It gives off this kind of chill atmosphere vibe to it, which is crazy coming from how weird this anime is. Like it's about this alien chick and this boy who's going through puberty and stuff is coming out of his head and they look like boners. Like, it's shit's wild. And the animation being crazy good just makes it even better for me. Like how it just be switching art styles out of nowhere. I love this show's aesthetic so much. And the show is just great in general.
I mean, to me it looks kind of basic, but because it looks kind of like Boondocksy, but maybe I'm tripping. But I love like to me it's like I love. It sounds like emo typical shit, but it's not because it's like mine's is better, just objectively, it just is. But because it's more, it's like it's what I like to call like fluorescent, like radiant red gothic shit. It's like it has to have color to it. It can't just be black and plain, but it has to have a fulfilled color. But it's still like kind of reality. Like the way I kind of mix it up is like, if you know these directors, it's Christopher Nolan. Obviously, you fucking know Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan and mixed with Guillermo del Toro. Like, what would that look like? It's kind of like that. And also just add in like a heightened red color, like a Suspiria film. All that in combination. It's just like that, and it's like okay. I'm getting off a tangent, but
Just watch FLCO. It just gives you something that only old anime can give you. Speaking of old anime, a bunch of them have really great aesthetics, especially old Ghibli movies. Not the new ones. I love the beauty of Ghibli's older movies. My personal favorite being Kiki's Delivery Service. But one that really sticks out to me is the movie Ocean Waves. Now, Ocean Waves is kind of a bad movie. The characters sucked, especially this bitch. Her and the MC had no chemistry and showed no signs of loving each other, let alone liking each other. They just argued for the whole movie. And at the end of the movie, the main character is just like, you know, I actually loved her. What? No. How? Why? I thought you loved your homeboy, right?
I don't understand any of this because I've never really been. It's not that I haven't been a fan of anime. I've been open to it. It's just that as of recently, I've started watching it, like barely. But that's only because like I've had a bunch of girlfriends or friends that I used to be with, friends with before. They're all gone now, but that were into anime and all this shit, and it just kind of turned me off because I was just like, I don't want to be with you, fucking like they were my friends. Some of them were my friends, but some of them were like friends of friends like that, and I just hated this whole anime culture shit where it's like you always over obsess over this kind of bullshit. You trade your culture for this kind of culture. You become a kind of race trader, like bullshit. It's like all of that is like annoying to me. It's like yeah, and then also this like femboy like every fucking girl wants like this like apparently they want that. In reality they don't. And in reality they never really even end up getting that kind of dude anyway. They get a more masculine type of guy. Or they just get a soy boy, which is like the worst. But like yeah. Like I've dated these fucking girls and it's like it's annoying. Like I just hate it. But
Right here. How do you
but
love her?
they're actually great. Like the animes themselves, I figured out that they're fantastic. The storytelling objectively better than a lot of the American media and a lot of the shit.
You hated her for the whole movie. It's a pretty bad movie, but I walked away liking it a lot because I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. I love the slice of life aesthetic of the movie. I'm sorry, I don't know many words. I love the slice of life exquisite of the movie. It just looked good to look at all the way through, making me like the movie a lot more, even with its flaws. Basically, I like to look at it, plus it was short, so strong 6. Speaking of Ghibli movies, I really like the aesthetic of
No, fuck you. Yeah, we're getting rid of this. This is
I love
annoying.
it when movies actually try to look amazing, because movies nowadays are just filmed and edited in a very standard way. Like look at Paul Blart Mall Cop, one of the greatest movies of all time. But I won't lie, it's not filmed in a memorable way at all. It's just ordinary. And then when I turn on a Wes Anderson film, that's what I want to see. I don't think you notice, but cinematography matters, because cinematography is what really gives movies its aesthetic. And when I see a movie with beautiful shots like this, I'm just like, wow, I didn't know real life could look this good. Maybe I'm just a jaded person, but whenever I go outside, I just see garbage. The stray cats are speaking another language. And over there, oh look, it's Bob the local masturbator doing his little dance again. Look at him go. But when you add a filter in front of Bob, then boom! I take a liking to more of the realistic aesthetic though. That's probably why I like Charlie Kaufman's movies so much. The decorative environment in his settings and combined with his realistic characters just make a beautiful movie. Like, I just love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I'm thinking of ending things. Those are just peak movies. Even though
I'm trying to watch that movie. This would have been the movie that like all the fucking. There was a group. I'll talk about them in detail later, but there was a group called Chapter 17, and this was the year of high school where this was like a group of like people that really made a lot of my high school experience, and their names were actually I don't want to give their names, not yet. Soon, I will, but the point is that this was a group of like it was like mostly girls. There was like one sort of kind of like gay guy. You know what's funny? It's exactly like the story, like Perks of Being the Wallflower, which is one of my favorite movies. And I watched that movie before then, and then when I had that experience, it was just like, oh shit, that was the case. But yeah, What can I say? I had that experience, and sometimes like there's certain films that just kind of remind me of this certain like that, and it's funny because it's like one girl she recommended me this girl in that group she recommended me this film called Comet, which is directed by a director called Sam Esmail, who directed Mr. Robot, which is one of my favorite shows. Uh, because it has the whole classic existentialist sigma male character type of thing. Um, and that whole movie, I wouldn't say the movie's like fantastic, but like the trailer, and a lot of the times trailers make everything to me, and I'll show you guys it later. But it's that particular thing, and so yeah. But yeah, let's keep moving
His
on.
kind of aesthetics are my favorite. The cyberpunk aesthetic really makes my balls hot. And the best movie example of that is Blade Runner 2049. This movie looks amazing, shot for shot.
I saw
I
that
feel like
movie
I
when
can
people
pause
didn't
at
think it was
any point of the
popular.
movie.
Before all these fucking edits started coming in, I loved this movie before any of you niggas, man.
And see a beautiful, breathtaking frame. But when I think about how great this movie looks, it just makes me a little sad because I know damn well the year 2049 is gonna look nothing like this. I don't even think we're gonna have flying cars by then. By the year 2049, the world's probably gonna look like this at the rate we're going. I also wanted to do a short segment on music videos. I love it when the visuals of a music video match what the song sounds like. Like Kanye's Runaway music video is just a perfect example. Like,
Yes,
I don't
absolutely.
even know what to say. Kanye is just so cool. And also music with no music video, like Nights by Frank Ocean. I can already imagine the aesthetic visuals for that song with no reference needed. And this transitions me to the next and last short segment of this video. I'm bad at transitions, I'm sorry. Basically, all the media from the 80s and 90s has the kind of aesthetic that us millennials be using nowadays. Mainly because the media of the time had a grainy TV static kind of look. And I think the reason why people be using 80s and 90s shows and movies as an inspiration for these edits and pictures is because, and I'm saying this for like the 13th time, it's nostalgia. No matter if you watch an episode of Fresh Prince or Saved by the Bell, like it don't matter if you weren't alive during the time these shows are airing. Just seeing them gives you a nostalgic feeling because it has an older look to it. That's why people be doing those VHS looking edits. 80s and 90s media, whether that be movies, anime, or music, is just a prime inspiration for the aesthetic trend that goes on today. And that's kind of all I wanted to say. The 80s and 90s segment was kind of a conclusion, but I didn't want to make this video any longer than it needed to be, with me just saying the same thing over and over again. The point being, oh, pretty colors, ooh, nostalgia. Like, I think y'all get the point by now. I wish I could make this longer, but I do not have a way with words. I have a very limited vocabulary. I just wanted to make this video to show my love for aesthetic imagery. And in conclusion, I'm gonna go watch Bart Simpson edits.
Yeah. Um, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But I think that's pretty much it. That's all I want to say. Well, I mean, we watched that. I was gonna watch the other part, but we'll do it tomorrow. But I guess one thing that kind of made me think about is that, like, I mean, yeah, like that's why I wanna film a lot of these vlogs. That's why I want to do as much because I don't want to miss out. I know what I'm capable of. Even the videos that I did before, it's like I gotta keep pushing it and I gotta keep doing what I need to do when it comes to these edits and this stuff like that, and also skating because eventually it's gonna connect to something, and I wanted to do this kind of particular thing, and I can't miss that aesthetic, and I want to skate with like an e-girl, not e-girl, fucking e-girl. I want like a hipster kind of goth, but not fully goth because it's kind of cringe, but something more like in the middle ground, like hipster to goth kind of level, and it's riding around like a fucking, I don't know if it's like San Francisco or like or something like that, but just riding around like the downward like that, or like Long Beach, whatever it is, whatever the area is, Laguna Beach, whatever, California, um, uh, Sunset Boulevard or or New York or whatever. I just because eventually it will be a motorcycle, but I do want this like skater aesthetic and kind of like yeah, oh bro, so many things that I need to fulfill, but I can't just be this little like fucking insulated person. Like I have to make it this outward thing, and we're almost there. We're almost there, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I freak out because I know that I can't be missing this moment. I have to make it. I have to make my ideal. I have to do what I need to do. I have to become the skater, fantasy, vampire, werewolf, with a fantasy, whatever, in my head, and we're almost there. So yeah, but before I ramble off, goodbye. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and peace. Okay.